Two Navy instructors thought they could bully a young sailor into breaking, calling him worthless, fat, even telling him to end his own life. What they didn't know, the quiet chaplain on base was watching, and when she struck back, she destroyed their careers, their homes, and their futures in one move. This is the story of how justice came crashing down. If you've ever been underestimated or pushed around by someone in power, you're going to love this. Hit subscribe, drop a like, and stick around because this story is proof that sometimes karma doesn't wait. It shows up dressed in a Navy uniform. Alright, let's set the stage. I was in the Navy, stationed at the submarine base in Connecticut. Life there was tough but structured, and the people you trained with often became your family. One of those people was my friend. From boot camp, we'll call him Bill. Now, Bill wasn't exactly the Navy's poster child. He was short, a little on the heavier side, wore thick glasses, the kind of guy you wouldn't expect to see leading a SEAL team raid. But what Bill lacked in appearance, he more than made up for with brains. He was sharp, pragmatic, and chosen to be a sonar technician, a job that relies on math, computers, and razor-sharp thinking, not biceps. I respected Bill. He wasn't flashy, but he was dependable. And in a world where a single mistake underwater could mean disaster, Bill was exactly the kind of guy you wanted on your side. But not everyone saw him that way. We had two petty officers or instructors. These guys acted like they were Navy SEALs trapped in a classroom. They lived in the gym, flexed their muscles, and acted like anyone who didn't worship the cult of fitness was beneath them. The irony, our field wasn't about how much you could deadlift, it was about brains. Still, these two clowns saw Bill as their personal punching bag. Every training session, every run, every workout, they singled him out. Fat, lazy, worthless. It didn't matter that Bill passed the Navy's actual fitness requirements. To them, he wasn't good enough. And the cruelty didn't stop at insults. They told him over and over again that he should just kill himself. Imagine that, men entrusted to train and protect sailors, telling one of their own to die. At first, Bill brushed it off. He pushed himself harder, determined to prove them wrong. But one day he injured his knee. He went to the doctor, got official, light-duty paperwork. You'd think that would have been the end of it, right? Wrong. These petty officers ignored it. They threatened to kick him out if he didn't keep training. So Bill kept running, kept pushing, destroying his knee even further while his mental health spiraled. Now, in those days, mental health in the Navy wasn't taken seriously. The only person you could really talk to was the chaplain, a religious officer who, ironically, held one of the highest ranks on base, our chaplain. She was a small, sweet woman, always with a kind smile, but she wore the rank of captain. That's no small deal. Bill finally got the courage to set up a meeting with her. He needed anyone to listen. But when he told the petty officers he'd be missing class for the appointment, they exploded. They screamed at him, called him weak, told him the chaplain wouldn't care, promised to make his life worse if he dared show up. So Bill cancelled. That same night, fate struck another blow. His girlfriend dumped him, and Bill, worn down, broken physically and mentally, convinced nobody cared, reached his lowest point. At 3 a.m, my phone rang. It was Bill. I answered, but all I heard was silence. I thought maybe it was a drunk dial, nothing unusual among sailors. I hung up and went back to sleep. The next day, my world turned upside down. Bill's now ex-girlfriend called. He was in the hospital. He had slit his own throat. Somehow, by the grace of God, he survived. It was cold enough that night that the blood clotted against his skin, forming a crude seal that kept him alive until medics arrived. He missed his carotid artery by a single millimeter. We rushed to the hospital, and as we entered, we passed the chaplain in the hallway. Gone was the gentle smile. Instead, her face was a mask of rage. Pure, unfiltered rage. She looked at us and said, "He's going to be okay, but I will not forget this." And in that moment, I knew someone was about to pay. Bill, weak and barely able to speak, told us what had happened. The insults, the pressure, the way those two men had pushed him to the edge and convinced him not to see the chaplain. He even said he was glad it didn't work, that he didn't want to die. But the damage had been done. A week passed. Then, we got called into the chief's office, the man in charge of training. He wanted to know if there were other issues with these petty officers. Me and a few friends unloaded everything. The lies, the harassment, the way they'd set us up for failure. But honestly, I don't think it mattered. I think their fates were already sealed. The Navy just wanted more ammo to bury them with. The very next day, the petty officers were gone. Just gone. Replaced overnight by new instructors. Later, I went to see the chaplain. She admitted she had never been more disgusted by the actions of sailors in her entire career. These men had deliberately kept Bill from getting help. To her, they were directly responsible for his suicide attempt. And so, she went nuclear. She went straight to the admiral, the highest-ranking officer on the entire base, and demanded their immediate discharge, not a warning, not a transfer, complete removal from the Navy. And the admiral granted it. Both petty officers were kicked out. Their discharges, other than honorable. Now, for civilians listening, that's not just a slap on the wrist. That's life-ruining. It means no veteran benefits, no healthcare, no retirement, no housing, nothing. One of them had 18 years in, just 2 years away from retirement. All gone. The other had 12 years, also gone. They were forced out of base, housing stripped of everything, and sent home with nothing but a bus ticket, not even their family's travel covered. And it doesn't stop there. With that kind of discharge, they couldn't get jobs at any company that held contracts with the Department of Defense. That includes places like McDonald's, Subway, Taco Bell, because those chains operate on bases. No company wants the liability of hiring someone the Navy kicked out in disgrace. So, from Navy instructors with stable careers, homes and futures, to nothing. Minimum wage jobs at best. 18 years gone in a puff of smoke. As for Bill, the Navy gave him a full medical discharge. That meant an honorable exit, E5 pay for life, full benefits, and therapy referrals. He rebuilt, slowly but surely. He found his way. Years later, I saw on Facebook Bill was married, working as a police officer, living a good life. And those petty officers, who knows where they ended up? But I can tell you this much, wherever they are, they're not living the dream they thought they deserved. Justice wasn't loud, it wasn't flashy, but it was devastating. Two bullies who thought they were untouchable learned the hard way that when you push someone too far, when you abuse your power, karma doesn't knock, it kicks down the door. The chaplain, this quiet, sweet woman, was the sword of justice. She destroyed them in a way no one else could, and watching it unfold, it was satisfying beyond words. This story isn't just about revenge, it's about accountability, about the idea that no matter how much power someone thinks they have, there's always someone above them who sees the truth. And when that truth comes crashing down, justice is inevitable. What do you think? Did those petty officers get what they deserved? Have you ever seen karma strike someone down in real life? Share your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And if you love stories where justice is served cold, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. More tales of revenge are coming your way.